in this episode, I'm going to try to get as much stuff done on this car as I can because it has been a while since I've posted a video. So it's going to include radiator install, water pump install, header install, fuel tank install, starting of wiring, and a bunch of random other smaller stuff that I probably will try to get to. Don't know if I will. Stick around. It's going to be a lot. What's going on, guys? So I am finally going to knock out something I should have done probably a little while ago, and that is wiring this time. So I have the initial main harness laid out for the wiring. I went with American Auto Wire. They seem to have everything labeled really well. This entire kit, this plus it should be all the wiring I need from headlight to tail light, cost me just shy of $1,000, and I'm going to see if it's worth it because it seems like it comes with everything I need. Everything seems, I mean, everything's like pre-zip tied, and I don't know. I mean, we'll see, but a lot of money. So as of right now, what I'm working on is trying to get the main harness connected to the engine harness. I have them just attached right here as it punches to the firewall. I need to add 2 holes so I can actually secure it to the firewall, and because of that, I am going to use a different tool, which will hopefully help me get that anchored on securely. Let me show you what I got. Alright, so what I picked up is a hand rivet nut kit. I ended up picking it up online. Only cost me probably about 30 bucks. What's going to allow me to do is punch a hole in the firewall and then add rivet nuts so I can actually bolt on whatever else I need to. It's removable, the nuts aren't, but I can unthread them, remove the bulkhead if I need to for any reason. Seem to work pretty well. I ended up buying a bulk package of a bunch of different sizes, but how it pretty much works is this. Seems to be work pretty simple. This part ends up just like a normal rivet, attaches into the metal. As you squeeze it, it actually has a crush zone inside of the rivet here, where it will pinch the firewall in between this outer flare and this next rivet, or the crush zone, that it will happen to make another lip. Once that happens, you can take a bolt, you can thread it in, and you're good to go. So that way, this makes it so I can unbolt it for any reason if I would need to, and it's not permanently attached where I have a rivet where I got to drill it out. So that is what I'm going to try to do on a couple mounting points, specifically the firewall, MSD ignition box. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I know I'm going to need it for. I'm sure there's a few. We'll figure it out. Let's go.
175 amp mega fuses here. However, the kit that they give you, you install them, same thing that's up on this top block, the same thing that's down here. You end up taking a knife, trimming back part of the cover so you can have a adapter plate that goes between the two to join them. That side has to go to the starter solenoid or the battery. So they make it seem like it's extremely important that that's where it goes. So now the hard part is finding where you can mount it. I don't know if I'm going to maybe try to get mounted maybe back here somewhere, but it is plastic and I want to keep it as far away from the headers as I can. However, I don't have a lot of room in here, all things considered, because of the motor. So I'm going to find a spot for this, and I'm going to do the rivets for it, and it should be good to go. But again, the hard part is finding that flat spot where it's not going to be affected by the heat, because it's plastic. That damn plastic will get you every time. But yeah. Alright, so I'm still working on the wiring as best I can. There's still a couple things I'm kind of working on, but I'm at a standstill for a lot of it because I'm running into a couple issues. Number one, I'm needing to mount a lot of things inside of either the engine bay here or the glove box, but I can't mount anything in the glove box because it doesn't exist right now. It does, it's off the car. Let me walk through the sun. It's actually over here. So it's hard for me to mount anything inside the glove box when it's actually not on the car. Number two, I don't know also where a lot of the placement is on some of this stuff. So until I can get things like the blower motor hooked back up inside here, I don't know how far outside it goes of the ring. I don't know about the tubing. I don't know about any of that. So it's hard to hook that up. And then, most important I would say, is I don't know what my clearance is and my heat tolerance is for inside the engine bay for the long tube headers. So, since I don't have any manifolds hooked up on this yet, I have no idea where the routing is going to go going down and how close or far I need to be from any of this area where I do have open area. Kind of at a hold right now for that, and that's going to be kind of a pain. But I'm still going to continue to work as best I can on any little projects I can. And I guess this episode is just going to turn into more of a general, this is where I'm at, and not, hey, the wiring's done. Because the wiring won't be done. I got a lot of wires. I got a lot of wires. That's just the front. That doesn't include inside here. I think I'm going to work now on fuel. I'm going to switch gears. Maybe I can get the tank pre-mounted up a little bit, or at least get the pump put together and everything mounted inside the tank. Just something. Make some progress, because I don't want to feel like I'm wasting the day. And honestly, I can't work on this truck nearly as much as I want to, because I actually have a real job. So in turn, yeah, just slow progress. But fuel, let's do what I can. All right, so I got everything I need for the fuel system. And I'm going with tank sync, so I have the normal stock style fuel tank, and then I also have a GPA-9 fuel pump that I'm going to run. Main reason why I went with this is because, and you can't really see it very well inside here, but it does have the anti-sloshing barricade inside there to help. I have my inline fuel filter, my tank, or my pump relay. What else do I have here? I know I have my external fuel regulator, my line, my tank straps, and my fuel sending unit. So I'm going to try to eventually get all this put together, and I should be able to put this underneath the car here pretty soon. However, I do need to modify in some way, shape, or form the pickup tubes for the actual pump and the to the tubes. So my biggest restriction right now is not having enough fuel, and it's going to be coming through 1/4 inch NPT, which is going to restrict that quite a bit. So I may maybe look at some hacks to find out how I can get a little bit more fuel out of that pump. It's supposed to go at 450 liters per hour. However, I think that the fitting size may restrict that, but we'll find out soon. the instructions, any tank that is used with descending units from Tanks Inc., the lower bracket requires to be removed. So you can see that it's in 2 pieces. So you remove these, I'm assuming slide everything up. I don't know, I'll follow instructions, but it'll take you long for it. Take a look, see how these are gonna turn out for me. And I'm using a speed shop, a local speed shop for these. Gave me a hell of a deal on them. And hopefully they fit. I will say I immediately regret putting so much inside of the engine bay. I'm guessing some stuff's gonna have to come out to include power steering box and some other stuff, so yeah, we're gonna try to just go for it. I'm sure nothing wrong is gonna ever happen. Yeah, this is gonna suck. Header's hit. Who would have thought? Alright, so I've tried it on the passenger side, from the bottom and the top. Can't get it to fit in how I need to even be able to roughly hang. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to remove a motor mount and jack up the motor. I think that's what's gonna have to happen. I'm not sure yet though. I'm gonna try to brainstorm a little bit. I'm gonna switch to something else before I get frustrated with it. I'm probably gonna work on getting the exhaust tank, the tank hangers brackets installed. So that's gonna be a little bit of cutting and, you know, a little grinding and welding I gotta do to get those brackets on there, but hopefully it should go easier than this, because yeah, painful. So let's try that now.
totally did it incorrectly, but I don't care. Just dawned on me. I forgot to add the tank straps. Alright, we're back under the car. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind from the fan. But why am I underneath the car? So initially when I put these in, or the tank in, I did it just to get it mounted and get it out of the way, and I kind of knew roughly how it's being mocked up. I got to reinstall the tank straps, so I have the rubber strip that prevents the vibration going up, or on the straps here. And then also I need to change the fittings I have on the top coming off the tank, so I can switch over to an AN style fitting of some way, shape, or form and actually have it hooked up. Now on these, it's not necessarily AN. I'm going to be going a AN size, but it's for the -6, but it's for a push hose because I have that. What I am going to do is do the hard fitting coming off of the pump in using these to a soft line for just enough to clear the outside the tank, and then that's where I'm going to pick up my hard line. That way, in case for some reason I need to move the tank or drop the tank, I have about 1.5 feet or so of soft line to allow me to do that without having to worry about getting up behind it and disconnecting it, or trying to reconnect it. It'd be a pain in the ass. I'm going to bend the line up, so just a little way I'm doing it. And I just know that after a few years you're probably going to have to change out the soft lines depending on which ones you get, and also I guess how long it sits in the lines and all this other stuff. So other than that, back to the music. Tank's out. Let's take a look at it here. As you can see, this is what I'm talking about for the fittings. So that actually comes with, or this Through Tanks Inc. is what I got, is this GPA-9 pump. It actually comes with NPT fittings. I have a adapter in there to get it to -6, so that way at least I can start worrying about AN fittings and not having to deal with pipe fittings. So now I'm going to use these to go from -6 to soft hose, where I can do this a little bit off of the tank, and that way I can use that to put into my hard line and go from there. I'm also going to extend these wires out just a little bit, so that way I don't have to worry about trying to go this close to the pump. I can bring it out a little bit further. This is my breather hoses hooked up to a little extension, so that'll at least get it away from where I need it to on that. That way I can get this re-hooked up, and then I can also add the foam strips or the rubber strips on those, so that way, number one, it doesn't bang up the bottom of the tank, and number two, it helps with vibrations. So let's get to it.
been slowly getting some parts that I'm needing, one of which is my radiator. However, it's too tall. So I'm gonna have to modify my radiator support, and specifically 2 areas. It's actually gonna be this entire front bracket where my hood latch is and everything else. I will show you. It's actually gonna be here where all of my hood latch assembly and all that goes. And specifically, see if I can show you, there are 2 screws, one here and one here, which cut through and stick out the back and stick up right where, there we go, stick up right where that radiator needs to go. So what I'm gonna do, in the middle hole here where there's no screw, one tack weld to hold it, then what I'm gonna do is remove the 2 other side screws so I know after it's already tacked it's not gonna move on me. Tack those, then I don't have to worry about where the screw mounts are, and then I can deal about where I need to mount the outsides of the radiator, and it will be flush. And then I can also get my fan shroud mounted, and I can also figure out how much distance I have for my fans. So that's what I do. It's 107 degrees out, and all I have in here is 2 box fans. Just give me a second. Alright, let's finish it up. Alright, starter is in. It is a pain in the ass, but on a scatter shield there's no threaded bolts, it's just a through bolt. I had to piece together and find some bolts that actually will allow me to clamp that in, but it's in. And it is a pain. I can't tell you the easiest way to do it. It's taken me way too long to do it, but it's in. It seems like a lot of work, and it is, especially when it's so damn hot out. It sucks the life out of you, but for the most part, this should be finishing up pretty quick. I'm still working on a bunch of other issues like my cooling issue. Gotta find the correct bolts I need to go into the Champion 3-core radiator I have. I pulled it out and put it in a couple times. The problem that I have is that I gotta get it fitted so I know what size fans I can run. Other than that, I got a bunch of other parts in, one of which is the entire clutch pedal, all the little brackets and everything else I need, all the pivot points to get my clutch to work. I got what I need to get my speaker hooked up, but I'm not gonna hook my speaker up until I can get my vents and everything else done, because it's all done in the same area. I got tools to knock out my brake parts and my fuel lines for me to do hardline bendings. And then I also ordered, there we go, I ordered a Mazir water pump. And I ordered the wrong one. This is the housing and everything. I need the one that works for the stock housing. I've ordered it, should be here probably in the next few days. Alright, well I got extremely frustrated yesterday because I could not, for the life of me, get enough clearance on the driver's side because of, well, the main reason why, power steering box is in the way. You can see here it's connecting a bit right here. I don't know how Joey did it, but I texted him saying I needed a new gasket because my gasket got all torn up with me trying to get that to work. he took the driver's side this morning, flipped it over here, took the passenger, put it on the driver's side, and now that's in. So now we're waiting for an additional gasket to get here so I can replace the passenger side one. But what he also pointed out was one of the thread holes on this block is not working correctly. And it's pretty stripped out. So I'm re-tapping it right now. I got some new parts. Let's see what's in them. So here I have a complete 4-piston front and rear disc brake kit for the Charger. This should give you a heads up also on what's going to be on its way here pretty soon. That's, I guess, a pre-shipment before the actual wheels come in. I have to make my own spark plug wires, so I got a tool for that. I have a Mazir water pump for an electric water pump, which you're not supposed to run on a daily or anything like that, but it's gonna happen. Still things I'm waiting to install is still this clutch, all the clutch linkages and everything else I need. And yeah, so I got quite a bit more to keep working on this thing. Plus, gotta get that one side header gasket installed. Man, it's hot here. All right, so yeah, this is hopefully gonna continue moving on pretty well. I don't know when I'm gonna start editing this thing and just call it quits, because obviously I'm not gonna get the car done, and there's no real stopping point, it seems like, between now and the foreseen future, because I just keep getting stuff. So I got quite a bit installed already, but going from there. Currently have the overflow tank in. I have to fix my radiator issue, so I'm still working that. Got to get this other header installed with the gasket. I continue worrying about the wiring, but once I can get the battery and the starter installed, which I did, I got to work on getting my wiring, bump it over, find top dead center, then ignition goes in. Yeah, all right, we got a long way to go, but we're gonna get there, and I'm gonna do everything I can to try to take you along with the ride. Big shout out to Joey for thank you for helping me, I guess, with a lot more than you guys know. He's seems like it kind of comes out here in the morning when I'm not out here, and I swear to God, it seems like the car's just like an hour further than when I left it at. I'm catching on that he's like sneaking over here and working on it. Thanks to Joey, the shop owner, I got a bunch of lights. You can now see what I'm working on. So I got my new water pump. It's the one that works in the housing, not the one that I have to replace the housing. So now I'm cheating, reading directions. And yeah, gotta fire up the RTV silicone to silicone into the bolts. But yeah, other than that, tighten 25 foot-pounds, send it. Hell yeah, let's do it. So, one thing that I did do off camera is I was finally able to get the brake booster and master cylinder here hooked up. Now, it came as one entire kit. I had no assembly involved on this one. I ended up getting this one through POL. I ended up paying full price for it, no benefit, no nothing. It ended up coming as one complete unit. It also comes with a proportioning valve so I can change how much braking goes to the rear of the car, to the front of the car if I'm going to be doing track racing, or just, I guess, general driving if you want to really set it up to be like that. It's looks pretty good. I got it. It's their Blackout series. It isn't fully mounted yet. I still need to worry about all the linkage and stuff that goes back into the back of the vehicle, or to the brake pedal and all the linkage. I have it dry fitted in for the moment, just to make sure that it's not going to have any clearance issues, but we should be good. All right, so that's going to wrap it up. I think we got quite a bit done. Now that I'm really thinking about everything, looking back, it's been almost 2 months since we posted a video, so in turn, there's been probably some changes that have happened that I don't remember whether or not I've recorded them or not, so I'll do a quick overview. I did get the long tube headers installed. Long tube headers are bolted in, gasket. I ended up actually paying Joey because I lost my patience with this thing. However, he came in, he did it for me. He has some magical ways of knowing how to finesse all this. I do have one issue though, and that is I have connecting issues with the power steering box down here. So that will unfortunately probably be bashed. No other way to put it. I also have a starter installed down there. It's bolted in. I have a brake booster which is installed with a master cylinder. It is crudely, it's just mocked up. Battery tray that's in, not mocked, that's not isolated in yet. I have my MSD ignition, at least my 6AL box that is installed. I also have a radiator that is in, not tightened down yet, but it doesn't take much to do that. Other than that, I got wiring done. So I have all the wires and all the spaghetti coming out from underneath the dash that I need to worry about for the final connections on that. I also have the wiring done in the trunk going to all of my rear things for lights and things like that. I also am working on trying to get my fuel tank set up, finished. So I have my fuel tank installed. Should be good. I just need to run the lines for the hard lines going from the rear to the front. So that's everything I was able to work on. It doesn't maybe seem like a lot. It has just been a lot. And I don't have as much time to work on the car as I have been, so it's going to be a little bit slower for the time being. But I will continue to try to work on it. I have a lot more I still need to get done. Example, I still have all my clutch parts here to get the clutch working. I have a Willwood big brake kit for the front and rear of the car. And what else do I have sitting around here? All my MSD ignition still sitting back on the box, or on the workbench back there. What else do I have in here? Some other additional smaller dash components came in. I still have to worry about all my linkages and everything else of getting my throttle to work. So for all my bird catcher and my EFI, needless to say, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to continue trying to post as much as I can. If you guys want to see anything specific that I'm doing, please post. I'm working on a couple other things in the background as well. Still doing more project work on the D200. And I'm going to continue trying to stay, I guess, as up to date as I can on this. So, as always, if you guys like the video, hit likes, hit subscribe. And yeah, comment below, let me know what you guys want to see, and I will continue to do what I can. But until then, keep going.